I want to fight with every single one of you. Write what you want. Release your statements. Send your emails to the White House. I want to fight with all of you. Those are Candace Owens' exact words, and she isn't backing down. While people across the country are grieving Charlie Kirk, his widow, Erika Kirk, is already back on stage, smiling, promoting new projects, and shutting down anyone who brings up difficult questions. Something about the situation feels off, and Candace is calling it out directly. Candace Owens has openly confronted Erika Kirk in a way that shocked everyone watching. And for her, this isn't just about grief. She believes there's real interference happening behind the scenes, people trying to bury key details about what happened to Charlie. Here's what we're going through in this breakdown. Major inconsistency between what Mikey McCoy claims happened and what Erika Kirk says why Candace thinks. Erika's public forgiveness speech came far too quickly and sounded staged footage that vanished almost instantly after the shooting.
Phone call, okay, from whoever saying that the person that you love most in this world and the person that you are married to has been shot. How fast you getting off that phone?
Maggie started calling me.
I called Erika.
Called me within seconds. And I'll never forget. I'm just being like, Charlie's been shot. He's been shot. Get the kids. Get security. Get the kids. Get the kids. He's been shot. I sprinted out of her treatment center. Just collapsed in the middle of the parking lot.
How certain Turning Point USA insiders may be blocking a full investigation by the time we finish. You'll understand why Candace said, "I know there's not much time," and what she meant by that. This situation reaches much deeper than most people realize. Before we go any further, I'm not going to recap what happened to Charlie Kirk. Anyone clicking this video already knows the basics. Let's get straight to what matters. Back in 2018, Charlie sent messages predicting he might not survive long enough to see the movement he started reach its full impact. He told Candace, "I might not see this revolution through." Looking at what happened years later, that line feels chilling. Here's what's bothering Candace the most. Within days of Charlie's death, Erika Kirk shifted from grieving widow to CEO and chairman.
I'm going to zoom in on that here in a second. And then you can see him walking out on his phone behind the tent. Charlie is getting loaded into the van, and Mikey is seen over here, back turned on the phone. This is weird, right? But even weirder is this. Zooming in closer, Mikey's reaction right when Charlie was shot. Look, he pulls his phone out to his ear without even pressing any buttons. Watch closely. Arms folded, phone right to his ear.
Instead of demanding answers, she's asking the public to offer forgiveness and move forward. Meanwhile, important material is being withheld or cleared away. Anyone pushing for clarity gets labeled a conspiracy theorist or even anti-Christian, a convenient way to silence critics. Now things start getting much stranger. Within 834 milliseconds of the gunshot, less than a full second, Mikey McCoy had his phone at his ear. He walked off calmly, without fear, like he was making a routine call. People around him were screaming and running. He wasn't, and here's the contradiction Candace keeps returning to. Pastor Rob McCoy, Mikey's father, says Mikey immediately called him, saying, "Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck." While the investigation drags with no progress, Erika is pushing TPUSA's brand forward. Candace put it bluntly, "If my husband died like that, I'd tear the earth apart to find out who did it and why." Instead, we're getting forgiveness without accountability. Real transparency would include releasing records, naming people involved, and showing actual proof. None of that is happening. Instead, everything feels managed, like a scripted PR rollout. Now things shift from suspicious to alarming. Within 4 minutes of the shooting.
And I don't know how the executives over at Turning Point USA sleep at night, okay? I don't know how you can present yourselves as a Christian organization and not be dedicating yourself to the truth. No matter what the cost is, you tell the truth. That's it, okay? You don't hide it. You don't try to obfuscate it. You don't try to say, well, wait until the memorial event before we start looking into who murdered him. You tell the truth and you tell it immediately.
A TPUS staff member removed a surveillance camera, not a random one, but a strategically placed one. His explanation to Candace was, I removed it so Erika wouldn't see traumatic footage. But Candace had already seen that angle via FaceTime and said there was no visible blood. It wasn't the most graphic view at all, so why remove it? Why was that the top priority instead of protecting the crime scene? And why hasn't any of this footage been released? TPUSA promised transparency, but nothing has surfaced. Then comes the ballistics issue. The official story claims the shot came from a high-powered rifle at close range. Experts say that type of bullet should have passed straight through a person. Instead, the explanation given was that Charlie's bones were so dense, they stopped the bullet. Experts say that isn't realistic. Another suspicious detail. The area where Charlie stood was repaved within 48 hours. Why move so fast? Below the stage were tunnels and access points. Could the shot have come from below instead of from far away? No one is allowed to ask that without backlash. Now we move to the people inside TPUSA who aren't speaking. Tyler Boyer. TPUSA coup, accused of inappropriate relationships with young male interns. Connected to an orphanage project in Ukraine, fluent Russian speaker with a background in Soviet studies. He's the one who introduced Erika to Charlie, coincidence?
So I want to address this. So many people have been writing into us, sending us emails, people that are paying in super chats, asking me to address Erika Kirk. And I guess my question back would be, what is there for me to address? She hasn't sat down for a long interview. All we have seen from Erika has been the speech at the memorial event for Charlie Kirk. I see the innuendo that is online. I am interested in investigating who killed Charlie Kirk. And the people that I have been reserving my ire for, my smoke for, my investigation for, are the people that are blatantly lying, okay? People that are just lying about Charlie Kirk. That was my reason for going after Alex Clark. She lied about the Catholic thing. That was my reason for going after Andrew Colvett, Mikey McCoy. Anybody that's told a lie, Rob McCoy, blood all over him, you got my attention. What lie has Erika told that I'm supposed to be focused on? Okay, like, has she said something about, did she come out and say, Charlie never had an issue? I just think it's like, I don't know, it just feels so unfair to me to assign the amount of pressure that is on her right now. She has not come out and said anything to me that makes her suspicious, because I understand how that organ works. And I understand how people, when they are motivated by money, how they don't even think about these things. It can be so gross. See this go out, irrespective of how you feel. You should know that those decisions are not made by Erika. That's what it means to step into a company of that size and that scale. Okay. Their focus is going to be something different. And she has had, I think, a tremendous amount of grace in the speech that she gave, which I thought was very inspiring. And we should similarly have grace, give her time to get her, first and foremost.
Maybe, but it gets noted because of the pattern. Mikey McCoy became chief of staff in January 2024. Insiders say he was being groomed for leadership before Charlie died, his father. Rob McCoy co-chairs TPUSA's faith division after Charlie died. That entire structure stayed perfectly in place, untouched. There is also a Mormon LDS thread running through many TPUSA insiders. Charlie, however, was moving toward Catholicism and stepping away from Christian Zionism. Days before his death, donors pressured him about his Israel stance. Candace's theory is direct. This looks like an internal takeover. People inside TPUSA allegedly betraying Charlie. And the biggest revelation: someone at TPUSA has a text message from Charlie the day before he died, saying, "They are going to kill me." Charlie knew something was coming. Now we enter the most unusual part of the investigation. Days before the shooting, a military plane from Egypt landed in Provo. It arrived full and left almost empty hours after Charlie died. A second Egyptian aircraft departed 3 days later. This same aircraft pattern had reportedly appeared near Pisha Vents for years. Candace tracked the timeline from 2023 to 2025 and found Nebraska chapter activity began after an Egyptian plane arrival. Kansas events lined up with similar plane movements. The Utah event, the last one before the assassination, matched the final plane arrival. Now to the financial questions. Insiders say Charlie didn't actually know where all TPUSA money came from or where it was going. He formed an internal Doge team to review finances. People reported that the money flow looked strange. big amounts entering and leaving quickly. Sean Foy, part of TPUSA Faith, faced accusations of fraud and using ministry funds for personal use. Then there's donor pressure. After Tucker Carlson gave an Israel-critical speech at TPUSA, donors panicked. Charlie was flown to the Hamptons for what some describe as an intervention. About his Israel views, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reportedly called Charlie directly, invited him to Israel, and offered significant funding. Charlie declined, saying, "I don't know where this money is coming from." 2 weeks later, Charlie was dead. Coincidence? Maybe, but it raises questions. Now, let's talk about the FBI's handling of the case, which has been full of contradictions. At first, officials said Tyler Robinson turned himself in and confessed. Later, they claimed he wasn't cooperating and wouldn't answer questions. Which version is true?
Is the most responsible. Why would they want him gone?
I think Charlie was not allowed to be anything but a Christian Zionist. And he was changing in the last few weeks. When I look at the timeline that I put together, some weird stuff, this Egyptian plane that was started tracking him, everything began ratcheting up after Tucker Carlson hit the stage. And
in July.
Mm-hmm,
oh yeah, I was there for that. Yeah.
That pissed him off. That was a something.
Yeah.
So I think Charlie was done. As Megan showed the video, he was telling Tucker to go max. All of the things that they lied about, we've now proven. And why were they lying about it? That's why this is the thing. Why lie if you have nothing to cover up? That's my common sense here. You only lie because you have something to cover up. No matter what the lie is you only lie because there's something that you're hiding. So if they had all come out right when Charlie died, if Seth Dillon, who pressed Charlie in the Hamptons, was like, "Oh my gosh, my biggest regret is the last time I saw Charlie."
The text messages they released looked unnatural. One said, "Remember, it was only me. Don't look for anyone else." People pointed out that nobody talks like that in a real conversation. They also claimed the bullet had an engraved message, something experts say isn't physically possible for that type of ammunition. After intense online pressure, Kash Patel pushed the FBI to release a statement. They said they investigated hand signals, plane data, and bullet angles, but they didn't provide hard evidence or transparency. Meanwhile, mainstream media criticized Candace but didn't address the inconsistencies. Anyone asking questions gets labeled unchristian or disrespectful. Some Christian Zionist influencers have aggressively shut down discussion as if they're protecting something. Erika recently said she supports cameras in the courtroom for transparency. But TPUSA has not released its own footage or documents. To critics, it looks like a move to appear open while withholding actual information. This entire story isn't just about one tragic death. It's about influence, money, faith organizations, and foreign involvement. There's a pattern of strange deaths around people connected to intelligence or military matters. Candace points to cases like Michael Hastings, a journalist investigating a U.S. general who later died in a mysterious car explosion.
Easy to be in a position of feeling regret when you lose someone you love. And I tried to read a book by C.S. Lewis because he lost the love of his life. He was only married to her for 4 years. It's called A Grief Observed. And it was a very hard book to read. Not because it was about grief, but because in the opening pages he talked about how angry he was with God.
Erika runs TPUSA and continues public appearances. No major media outlet is deeply covering the inconsistencies. Tyler Robinson remains in custody with no confirmed trial date, and Candace continues investigating despite backlash. Her message is straightforward. Truth matters. Christ is truth. Forgiveness is good, but accountability is required. She says the only person who could stop her is Erika Kirk, and unless Erika directly asks her to stop, she won't. Candace ends with this: "If searching for truth makes me sound crazy, then call me crazy. Now it's your turn."
The fairness of it drives you crazy, and it's particularly galling in the case of Jeffrey Epstein and the whole constellation of people around Jeffrey Epstein, all of whom seem to be getting away with scams. And how do you know they're getting away with scams? I'll tell you how, because they're useless and they're rich. So how do you come to a place where some of the least impressive, most useless people who have no actual skills become billionaires? How's that legitimate? And by the way, if you ask this question, at least in Washington, it's like, oh, well, yeah, sounds like you're a socialist. Sounds like socialism. Yeah, okay, I'm a socialist now. All right. I was a Qatari agent or a bigot. Now I'm a socialist. All right. Leaving aside my committed socialism, can you answer the question? How did Bill Ackman get $9 billion? Bill Ackman, a pretty impressive guy? I know Bill Ackman. No. Bill Ackman's like well-connected and super aggressive. That's it. And I think, well-connected, super aggressive people deserve a fair living like everybody else. But if you're accruing $9 million just because you're willing to do anything, I don't know why we have to pretend that's good. How did Epstein get 4 Gulfstreams? How did he get an island, a massive ranch in New Mexico, the biggest house in New York? Like, what is that? Like, at some point, the basic economics really matter. And they matter because, not that it's bad that rich people are getting richer, it's bad that everyone else is getting poorer.
What do you think really happened? Do Erika's actions seem normal for someone who just lost a husband? Are we watching a massive cover-up, or is this simply a different way of grieving? The investigation continues. Truth doesn't disappear. It waits to be uncovered. See you in the next one.